Hey guys, it's Carissa, Connor's mom. I just wanted to teach you guys how to set up a Kangaroo Joey Jr. pump. It's really not that hard, but when I was learning, I really wanted another parent to show me how to do it, and I just had the nurses show me. And their advice was great, and their instruction was great. It's just, it would have been nice to learn from another parent. So what I do, these are your bags, and they should be purple. I think purple's the only color they come in. I don't know if there's other companies that distribute these, but Connor gets 500 ml bags. They also have 1,000 ml for older kids, but he doesn't need any more than 500. They're pretty small, but anyway, so what I do is, this is Connor's formula, and they're 250 mils each, so that's 500 mils. And Connor gets Nutren Jr. It's from Nestle, the company's Nestle. Anyway, so I just shake them really well, and because there's stuff that can sit on the bottom, so you want to make sure that everything, gets around in there. So you go ahead and open both of them. So then you kind of pull on your bag to make sure that there's like a space in your bag. That way when you put it in, it doesn't just all, collect on the sides. So you go ahead and pour it in. And the pump that you go home with or the pump that you get for your child normally isn't the exact same one as in the hospital, because this one's a junior. The one that they have at the hospital, or that I've known, is a little bit bigger, but they basically work the exact same way. So it's just a little bit smaller. Okay, so then you want to make sure that the top is closed really good. And then on the cord, there is this part, and it's the only stretchy part. And one thing too, when I was learning this bag, what I kept not understanding was that there's nothing really that attaches, like you don't attach anything to the bottom of the bag. Like this whole thing is one part. And so you get 30 of these a month depending on your insurance, so one a day. Okay, so like I said, there's a stretchy part. It's the only part that's stretchy of the whole cord. So this is the only part that's going to be inside of your pump. So I'm going to go ahead and lay my bag down. Open your pump, and then you're going to, backwards here, you're going to take the part that comes up a little bit like that, and in the V part right here, you're going to put it all the way down and push it in. And you're going to feel that it's tight in there. And then you're going to push the tube down in that little crack, and then you're going to stretch the tube out and bring it around the black wheel, and then this part is just going to kind of clip into there. It's pretty easy. So the way that the tube came in, the tube comes out. So you're going to go ahead. Oh, and there's also instructions on the inside right there that also show in case you forget. And then on the top of Connor's pump, it shows to make sure that you keep the bag 6 inches higher than the pump. That way you're not pumping air into your baby, which is important. So go ahead and turn your pump on. And if it's a new pump, you don't have to really worry about settings because you're going to put in your own settings, which is also confusing. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep settings just because Connor's on this all the time, so there's settings already in there. So Connor's on 55 mils an hour, and that's basically 1.5 ounces an hour. So there's 30 ounces, or 30 mils in 1 ounce. So that's good to remember. So if you want to change your feed, adjust your feeds, how much he's getting an hour, and like his goal feeding for this feed, you just go ahead and click adjust feed, and then you can do rate. So feed rate means how fast he's going to get fed an hour. So you go ahead and click that, and then you'll see this part. And so Connor's on 55, but so let's say you wanted to do maybe 80. You just go ahead and follow the arrows to the buttons. Okay, and then I want to bring this to 0. Okay, and then you go ahead and click enter. Okay, so he's going to get fed, if I kept it on this, he'd get fed a little over 2 ounces an hour, which isn't very much, but Connor's stomach can't handle any faster than that right now. So then you're going to go ahead and go to feed volume, VTBD, the abbreviation there. It means volume to be dispensed. So you're going to go ahead and click that. And then this means how much mils you want to give in this session of feeds. So, like I said, I'm doing 500. I don't really know why it's on 550, but I'm going to go ahead and put it back to 500. Because that's how much I want to give him total. And then it'll stop. It'll say feeding complete after he's been eating 500 mils. So then, yeah, after that, and so then you're going to go ahead and click done. And then you're going to go to prime pump. And then you're going to do auto prime, which is the faster way to do it. Because if you keep your hand on hold to pump, that just takes a long time and your finger can get tired. So just want to make sure that your bag is up straight and you kind of tug on it just to make sure that it's straight. And you'll see like it starts going through the line. And I just kind of leave the tape on there until after it's done priming. And I want the formula to go all the way to the tip. That way I'm not pumping air into Connor's belly. That would be uncomfortable. So it stopped right here. So I'm going to go ahead and push hold. And I want it to go all the way to the tip. There. So now, I don't know if you can see that. There's just a tiny bit amount in that little cap. So I'm going to pull the cap off. I'm going to undo the tape. Now, this is the extension or extender set. This is what Connor's looks like. There's ones that are straight. They just come straight out. Connor's is L-shaped. And so there's different kinds. This is what Connor has, though. So there's this little part. It says lock with an arrow, and you turn it clockwise to lock it. And there's a little line. So on the Mickey button, there's a little line on that. And you're going to push it into the button. And you're going to push it in until you can't push anymore, and you're going to turn it clockwise. And that locks it into the Mickey button. But you want to make sure, obviously, you're going to remove the plastic little guy that locks it in when you're not using this. That way it's not really hooked up to anything. You want to unhook that and then put this in, obviously. So now this is filled with water. You can hook it up before you prime and also prime formula through it. It doesn't really matter. It's just water. But one thing I want to tell you too was when I first started doing this, there's two sections here. It kind of splits up. It doesn't matter which way you go in, I don't think. I've always used the smaller side. But you want to make sure that whichever side you're using, the other side is closed, because if you start to prime your pump, or you start to run your pump to feed your baby, the formula will come out the other direction if you forget to close it. And I did that a few times, and Connor woke up crying, and I didn't know what was wrong, and he was hungry because he didn't get fed, and it leaked out everywhere, and it was a mess. So you don't make sure that it's closed. So that's something really important to remember. And also too, when this is hooked up to your child and there's nothing on the other end, if you do not have this clip closed, whatever is inside of his stomach will leak out because it's not closed. So if you forget, it will leak out everything that was in his stomach. And so you want to make sure that every time it's hooked up, you want to make sure that this is always closed. That's really important to remember. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in right there. Make sure it's good and tight. And then now I can hook it up to Connor. So you go ahead and click done, and you click run. And I don't really have to run it because it's not hooked up to Connor. So hopefully I helped you guys out. If you have any questions, you can feel free to message me.